What is going on, gentlemen? This is Sir Yeetus back once again. And today is just going to be a freestyle live stream. We just talk about whatever, that involves male issues or global events, whatever it is. We're just going to sit around and talk, have a good time. And real names not given. Yeah, for some reason, my intro is lagging today. Ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But I haven't done these. I haven't done this in like a month. Like we can just sit here, just talk about whatever. That's pretty much what we do at the end of every live stream. But this stream is just gonna be whatever. Let's see what kind of conversations we can come up with. It's gonna be pretty good. Oh, and let's talk about the channel update before we begin. Okay. I know I've been slacking like crazy, procrastinating to the maximum when it comes to doing shorts or longer videos. That will continue starting tomorrow. I will alternate from live stream to shorts and longer videos, and it will be a pattern to where you know what's going to be happening that day. Like that's the only Main issue with the channel currently is I'm pretty spontaneous with the content, but starting tomorrow, I'm going to start a pattern so you guys can anticipate what's coming. And a lot of people were having issues when it comes to donating because it's either they didn't have any cash app or they just didn't really were unable to donate. And these few people, thank you for letting me know what the issue was. And I brought back PayPal, right? Because PayPal is a lot easier for people to donate. So if you guys do want to donate, I will put up the link up there in a bit. Also, there's going to be a lot more art and better thumbnails, better intros, better everything. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be pretty cool. And I'm gonna see if I can have more special guests because I know I've been slacking as well with bringing in special guests. The goal is to have Mr. Moments in a few days, but besides that, I will aim for other content creators that speak on male issues. Because once again, our community is smaller than a lot of people think. Not too many people are able to make content and speak on men's behalf about what's happening in society. So definitely expect new special guests and returning guests. Okay. I am going to add in the StreamYard link. So I know a few of you guys are going to be joining. So if you guys want to join, go ahead and be my guests. And here is the PayPal link that I brought back. So it's a lot easier for you guys to donate now. If you want to support your boy in the Warband, that's the link that you go to from now on. And welcome back, Gray. What's going on?
Good evening, Warband. Yeah, just got some minis out to fiddle with and paint while the stream's going.
Yeah, today was a busy day for me, actually. Man, I finally was able to sit down.
Yeah, shit, I can imagine.
But now I'm staying hydrated. Stay hydrated, gentlemen. Stay hydrated. But I am also going to add Carry On. What's going on, Carry On?
I'm good.
All right, that's good. So, when it comes to our freestyle topics today, what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I think we can actually.
How crazy are we going?
Let's keep Susan away.
Yeah, make sure it's not too base. But what do you want to talk about though?
Well, I've actually got a point that you mentioned there about how the community is small and not a lot of people can talk about men's issues. I think that there's a bit of nuance there. It's not that they can't be talked about. It's that in most contexts, it's not profitable to talk about them.
Well, I see what you're saying. It's not profitable, and on top of that, they will eventually put a target on their back.
Yeah. Like we've seen what happens. Like if you make a channel that seriously speaks about male issues, you can expect to lose your channel at least once.
Yeah, I'm on my fifth one.
Lose it, you get like shadow banned. So,
shadow ban is just taken for granted. In fact, being monetized at all is incredibly difficult.
Oh no, not even monetized. It's hard like to get traffic to your channel and all that shit.
Yeah, you'll be suppressed via the algorithm. That's for sure.
Yeah, but a few of the content creators were able to dance around the algorithm and beat it.
Well,
You
There's
just can't
10%
use certain
rules.
words, and you got to make things funny and whatever it is, you know. Except Ribby. Ribby just clowns girls, and he got monetized.
Oh, he's more light-hearted than you on Chronic.
These disgusting fat pieces of shit. Like, oh, Susan's like, all right, hey,
Is it?
go make that money, Ribby.
Go get that bag.
I see what you're saying, Carry on.
Because like without like the shorts, if you're going by the Reddit stuff, there's other people that do Reddit stuff, but Ribby's has his own personality to it. Most of those guys just use text to speech robots and all that bullshit. So
Oh god, fucking robo speech.
They're not bad. They have they're necessary.
But how about people like Think Before You Sleep? He often speaks on male issues and societal issues that deals with the male and female dynamics.
That is a good point, actually. And he tends to use longer scripted out essay form stuff, and he also doesn't post terribly frequently. Plus, like, while he does tackle the hardcore issues, he doesn't go after any specific individuals. He'll go after like a lot of TV personalities, and he'll talk about broader topics, but it's not quite the same as calling out bullshit on an individual level.
Yeah. He's not really going after. He's not putting the blame of the average person, which is strange when you think about it. You can blame hierarchies and the people in power for general stuff like that, but when you start to go down, start blaming like the average person for the bullshit, that's when they start to clamp down hard.
See, the biggest thing I forgot to let you guys know, I do plan on deleting most or all of my shorts.
Did you tell us this before?
Yep. I just haven't gotten around that yet, but I will soon. Like by the end of this month, they'll be all gone. But I'm starting over, so there'll still be shorts, and there will still be shorts. But I'll make sure
before anything like that.
Only once, like last year.
Man.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Need to make Yeah, you good, but YouTube does, like, they say that they forget the strikes and all that bullshit, but that's a lie. They keep the backlog and all that shit.
Well, I had the copyright strike.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't. I didn't get any. You being hateful. Ooh, no. It's just that the reason that they say that I'm not getting monetized is because a lot of my shorts, I don't put any commentary, no response or nothing. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna get rid of most or all of them that I haven't spoke in. So they can't use that excuse. But I am gonna start over with more shorts. I'm gonna make sure
the short channel and just move the ones over there and see if it works.
Two channels. I'll stick with one for now. Just one.
Yeah, it is very difficult to try to promote two channels separately. It is always better to try to consolidate all your viewers onto the same one, even if they don't go for every video.
If I get big enough, which is highly unlikely, but if I do, then I'll go over to a second channel. But for the time being, all the shorts that I have will still be on Odyssey, so it's not completely gone. But I am going to start over and do things the right way, because before I was just trying to get a bunch of followers. Like, hey guys, look how stupid this girl looks. Ha ha ha. But now that I am close to 6,000 subscribers, which is insane, I never expect to get this far. I'm gonna start doing things a lot better, right? Like nothing's really gonna change when it comes to my commentary and stuff. It's just the way that I format my content. So just letting you guys know. I forgot to tell you guys that in the beginning. But back to the topic at hand when it comes to content, male content creators that want to speak on male issues. It's the fact that they not only that it's not profitable, but they are afraid to speak out on it.
Well, we've seen like what happens to people like Wheat Waffles. So
Exactly. Surprisingly, from another dude, and he knows what happens.
Really surprising.
Well, from a guy like John Anthony, no.
no, but like let's be honest, it's always the simps are going to be the most vocal advocates. For a woman to actually clap back at you, you have to go into an almost female exclusive space.
Go to the Wendy Williams YouTube channel, just start talking mad shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to creating content in general, I have noticed a gigantic shift from since the beginning, since 2014 until now, where countless people are only doing this solely for monetary gain. You can clearly tell who's actually doing this for the betterment of men and who's just solely here for money. Because a good amount of these MGTOW / Red Pill content creators, they only put ass and titties in their thumbnails. And literally all the content is nothing but TikTok thoughts. That's it. That's it. Knowing that it's going to gain traction.
Yeah, like there's definitely something to be said for the mass-produced, relatively low-effort compilations.
Yep. And kind of iffy where I hear a couple of people saying that, hey, as long as I'm monetized, I'm like, okay. I don't think, because that was I forgot what this person's name was, but that's what he said like in the beginning of a live stream, saying that, well, as long as I'm monetized, it doesn't matter to me. I'm like, all right, that pretty much makes your entire work disingenuous. You can't claim to be Red Pill and Big Tie. I want to talk about male issues and turn around and post nothing but TikTok thoughts. So
No, but at that point, it's just a marketing scheme, which, if anything, we should be somewhat thankful for, because it means that this subject matter is actively being sought out. Yeah, the crap and the bullshit is being pushed to the surface by the algorithm, which wants to funnel all the searchers to very specific topics. But at the same time, it means that there's a market for it.
Yep. And if he's just there like, hey, I just want to make money, that's fine. But if he wants to just give a whole speech talking about, oh yeah, Red Pill this, MGTOW that, but as long as I'm monetized, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, okay. I don't think being monetized should be your concern. If he want to get donations, sure, because it's up to the person to give you donations. But if your first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I want to be monetized, because the only reason I want to be monetized, I don't want to deal with the monetization BS. But the only reason why I'm doing it is because also people are saying it's a lot easier for the subscribers to donate. Because I mostly do live streams. Like, you see me just do nothing but live streams. They don't want to go through the hassle of going to this website, that website. So
plus it also shows up midstream, which does give a bit more immediate feedback.
Exactly, and that's why people got so hyped when Ruby got monetized. They're like, fuck yeah, like, I'm able to just donate right there. So that's the only reason why I'm doing this. So if they do decide to donate, they can do it out of their own choice, and I'll be able to talk to them immediately. You get what I'm saying? Like, be more interactive.
Maybe you should just pick up game for a couple months, get monetized, then be like, okay, guys, now we can get serious again.
Okay. Like, I tried the thing where, I thought about, maybe I should just post thumbnails of Twitch thoughts to see how it goes. But I couldn't. Like that just wasn't me. I was like, no. I know, it's just like it makes what I'm trying to say sound so cheap. Like, but that's just
what guys want. Depends how you
yeah.
use it.
But see, if it's just compilations, then I understand. But if it's just like, Twitch thought, like over and over on your thumbnails and shit, it just.
Well, it also lacks an identity, though. We may have a way around that. I've got a few things in progress.
But hey, I'm gonna invite Rishi. What's going on?
Yo,
you doing good, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
All right.
But it sounds like you're hating the game, but you're not willing to play.
I don't want to play, but I am doing it only because people will like to donate a lot easier. That's why, once again, Ribby, when he got monetized, people were like, oh, yeah, he's monetized. Yeah, because they can donate a lot easier. So
that just sounds like lazy people. Well,
I know that's just me. I'm like, all you have to do is click the link. But hey, it's all good. But Rishi, based on what we're talking about right now, what's your thoughts on people that wants to talk about male issues are just solely here so they can get as many views as possible, get monetized, get all these Patreons and crazy paywalls?
Well, I mean, if you want to make it your job, I guess, like Taylor, some guy asked me in the chat what Taylor did. He pretty much, built his own thing, and he went off. And now he has like a Patreon in locals, and he does this like a job. He uploads like 30-minute video, 2 30-minute videos every day, pretty much.
I can't do that.
But that's because
I can do a live stream. What's up?
That's because he, gets money from this. So
yeah, which is understandable. Understandable, but live stream is a lot easier because I don't have to plan for it. Yeah. I can just talk about it. But yeah, him doing 2 30-minute videos every day, shit, fuck that. Fuck that. And I've noticed.
To be fair, it's basically a 30-minute rant interspliced with a single video. I mean, Chronic does kind of the equivalent at least a couple times a stream in a single segment. It's not like he's doing multiple takes and then cutting the best parts together.
Well, first of all Taylor does is just talking to
the same shit.
And he just goes over like either TikTok videos, Instagram pages, and then he just pays someone to like edit it.
Yeah, saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Don't get me wrong, he's making money, sure, but
hey, it works.
It works. But once again, I don't want to get to that point because even though with the live streams I'm doing, every live stream you see, most of them are different. I want to get to the point where we can scratch the surface as much as possible when it comes to male issues, societal issues, whatever it is. So I think that's why I don't want to play the game, but I will get to that point. But beyond that, I'm not doing no the Patreon, subscribe star, locals, buy my course. I'm not doing all that. Fuck that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But
So male, whatever the rest of your name is, Taylor was a part, and then he kind of just went behind Chronic's back to build like Fiend Gang and all that, and then I think he got kicked out, didn't he? Or did he just leave?
From what I understand, he threw the Warband under the bus and basically cut ties, refused to promote other members, and just went independent and dropped the Warband as an association to get interviews with bigger creators.
There you go. So.
Yep, but I ain't no fucking Judas. So.
But anyway,
Warband till the end. What you say?
My thoughts on this is that we can either cast a net or we can just, have a singular fishing line. And what that means is, are we going to become normie friendly so we can get monetized and have more people trickle in and, stuff like that? Or are we going to be more real, more, stuff like that?
We're trying both.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think that's a winning strategy.
It's not, but at the same time, only Ribby, he was able to bypass the algorithm, right?
Well,
because he still gets his message across without pissing off Susan. And
do you think Ribby goes as hard as Chronic? No.
No. But what I'm saying is, the only thing that we're worrying about is recognition, pretty much. So
now, another part of it might be like the specific content. As you've mentioned, shorts haven't exactly been a top priority, but I think part of it is that aside from the people who will watch these live streams, it's very difficult for people to keep up with the content.
It's shorts is what started to build my subscribers in the first place. And I will be bringing it back, but it won't be on the frequency that Ribby does.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking clips would go a long way, because there's like a gold mine of content spread throughout the live streams. It really just needs to be curated, sliced up into more bite-sized chunks that people can actually process.
Yep. And on top of that, the biggest things that I will be changing will be the thumbnails. Like, I need to make it more attractive. Like who's this flaming skull guy? Well, I need to create better thumbnails. I think that'd be better, huh? And titles. Sorry, titles as well. I need to make better titles, because thumbnails and titles I see is pretty much the main thing to get more people to look at your channel.
Yeah, you just need to learn how to clickbait.
Couple things.
Clickbait, yeah. Big titty goth girl. Oh shit!
Ukraine really a country that needs to be saved? I don't know, bullshit. You have to get
Jesus came back from the dead, and he's in Japan.
Top 10 reasons why your mom is a hoe.
There should just be something with the Ukrainian flag. It has nothing to do with Ukraine. It's just got blue and yellow in it for some reason, just to get people to click on it.
This is IKEA. It's like, oh, sorry, it wasn't. It was from IKEA today.
Fucking IKEA.
We're talking. We're talking about Sweden's crisis of men leaving or importing Asian wives, but we make it look like it's the Ukrainian flag.
Oh my day! To show like, because the Sweden flag's a cross, right? Just show the one sign.
We just say European. Just big red font, European crisis, blue and yellow background with a shocked face on the side. But we're talking about feminism, not Ukraine.
Damn, that'd be too funny. That'd be too funny. or was it? I think it was Sweden or Switzerland where they had the Thailand, the Asian women.
I'm pretty sure
epidemic.
pretty sure it's Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah, we'll replace that with Ukrainian women. That'd be perfect.
No, just oh god, vague clickbaity titles. Gonna have to fucking brainstorm. We're gonna have to brainstorm some of this shit because there's a fucking gold mine here.
Nuclear missiles headed my way. Like what?
It's like the end of the world? Question mark. It's like, oh no, nukes. It's like, no, we're talking about feminism.
And then we'll put the picture of crying Michael Jordan on top of the missiles. Like, oh shit. Yeah, okay. I won't go that far, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be working on them titles, man. It's gonna be great. But anything current events that you guys heard about? You know, anything crazy?
Crazy.
Did you guys see my community tab?
Florida.
Did you guys see my meme today?
I ain't gonna lie. I haven't seen shit. I was sleeping most of the time.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
That girl was taking nudes while she was on
one.
the hospital bed. You say you didn't see anything.
I'm not sure which day it is half the time.
But yeah, I'm like, wow. And then if you guys read the comments for context, it says like, oh, I can't stop my job. Oh, no, this isn't a job if you're doing what you love. I'm like, bitch, if you're able to do this on a hospital bed, it's not a fucking job. It's not a job.
No.
How hard is it to take off clothes?
I mean, to be fair, it's not like they let you wear your clothes into a hospital bed. Normally, you got a gown that's open. So,
oh shit! Regardless, like how hard is it to lift up your shirt? It's not, unless you got no hands.
Well, to be fair,
it is a job. It's just a respectable one. Anything could be a job in my eyes, but it's this level of difficulty. And it's like you can't complain about certain things when your job's extremely easy.
No, let's be honest. A job is someone paying you to do something that they don't want to do.
Or they want.
Pretty much. Like I don't want to do it I don't want to do it on my own. I'm gonna pay somebody else to do the labor for me.
Or the service or product. Well, that's 10.
Like let's be honest. There is an example of a whole bunch of hot girls buying OnlyFans accounts. Like they could just say, I want to see tits. Get a mirror, flip up the shirt. Yeah, there they are. All right, moving on.
But regardless, I don't know. It requires labor. Lifting up your shirt is not labor.
Depending how heavy you are and how fat you are.
Depending how heavy.
Never, to be fair, standing up is difficult for some people.
What'd you say?
It might be like in Dragon Ball Z how Goku's shirt weighs a shit ton.
Oh, fucking hell. But hey, it's just me that, I don't know, the fact that in that context comment that I made, let me go over there right quick. Right now. What she said? She said...
It's not easy.
Hold up. She said... Where is it? I think it's funny because everybody thinks my life is so easy because of OnlyFans. I'm like, bitch.
Generally, yes.
I know how much. Well, what's up?
These are people who've never done a serious day's work in their life. I'm willing to bet she's never even had to run a friggin' barista job.
The fact that, because I'm gonna have to look up the story again, but supposedly she's pretty famous up there in on social media, right? Because of those knockers, and I guarantee you, she's making at least 8 to 10 times my salary.
Yeah, probably.
A month, guaranteed. Like, and she had the audacity to say, No, everybody thinks my life is so easy. It's so hard to take off these lingerie. Like it's so hard to spread
Now,
them.
to be
Spread these little.
fair, she doesn't realize what's going to come down the line in 20 years.
Shit, or at least 5.
To be fair, depending on what she got the brain surgery for.
I just think that's just fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah. God, she's that's the thing. She's gonna blow through. That's the thing. There's two kinds of OnlyFans girls. Like, there's the majority of them which think that the money's never gonna end, and they blow through it all. And then when their OnlyFans starts to dry up, they panic, and then no man worth a bloody damn wants to get with them or any sort of commitment because, well, you were on OnlyFans, and that's your entire resume.
Do you know how much hysteria some of these girls were when their Instagram was terminated, or when OnlyFans announced that they're getting rid of provocative content? Oh, they freaked the fuck out. They're on camera crying, so my life is over. I'm like, wow. This I'm like, really, it's your life is over because you can't take advantage of simps anymore. Now you have to go get a real job somewhere at Subway or McDonald's, huh? Because you never bother to go to school or get any type of skills.
Oh yeah, well, first off, they failed at being potential wives. Then they failed at being potential men.
Oh yeah, they know being a wife is like out the door. Everybody see, and that's what a lot of girls can't comprehend, right? Because the abundance of simps out there is insane.
My queen, I'll wipe you up. I'll wipe you up, my queen.
No man of value wants a long-term relationship with a woman that everybody pretty much saw or did with her, like naked. No man of value wants that, to put a ring on a girl that everybody else pretty much got the same thing for free.
Well, and what's hilarious is like the deflation of the dollar is actually going to hit them especially hard because, okay, like dollar value goes down theoretically. While the numbers change around, stuff is still worth the same amount. Silver is still worth silver. Gold's still worth gold. Labor will still be worth labor. So, like, you could be working for like twice what you're making now if the dollar is worth half as much. Like, you're not really making any more value-wise, but you're still more or less breaking even.
Yep, and I guarantee you plenty of them don't know how to budget, don't know how to make things stretch and last. They're just going to continue to get those Birkin bags, those Louis Vuittons, and act like nothing's happening.
But even if they were sensible and just decided to turn it all into cash and stuff it in their mattress, sure, okay, they make $1 million in 2022. If the dollar is worth half as much in 2025, well, they can't keep making money at the same rate 3 years from now.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Oh, speaking of economy stuff, did you see Russia's money start making a comeback?
No, I hadn't.
The last time I checked, they're pumping back up the numbers. Let me see. Ruble to USD.
But is that the ruble going up or the USD going down?
That's a good question, but if you guys type it up on Google, ruble to USD, it's bouncing back for now. It's going back up.
Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find what the you know what else went up?
What's up?
Silver.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, silver just went up a whole quarter.
Uh-oh. I guess what
So-
the US won silver. Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, I'm yeah, I started investing in silver, not a huge amount. I've had other shit to do, but yeah, it's like, yeah, that'll be a bit of a nest egg anyway. All you buggers who have fucking gold stockpiled, they're gonna be laughing in 10 years.
All I'm saying is if this keeps going up in 2 to 3 days, their economy will go back as before the war started.
Oh, hot damn.
Shit.
Uh-oh, it backfired, didn't it, huh? Yeah, and once again, there's plenty of other countries that Russia can trade with.
Yeah, and they're
That's
like,
it.
well, we gotta increase the sanctions. It's like, motherfucker, what is left to take from Russia that you haven't already?
We're
if you-
Russia's dignity.
Like what? Are you gonna take Putin's judo belt next?
Can anybody do that?
They took his taekwondo belt.
yeah, this is like a taekwondo, yeah. But
So I don't know. Maybe he's got a black belt in judo. They can still take. I don't know.
it'll go too
Oh, man.
far. It'll go too far.
Wait.
And what's up?
How far is Russia compared to like the US dollar?
Pretty far away.
Oh, you guys are way closer to Russia than we are. Well,
But here's kind of a question on that. Like, okay, so the Russian dollar is devalued compared to the US dollar. Does that really matter if they can't buy anything from outside of Russia?
No. It does not matter at all. So the US pretty much shot themselves in the foot.
Well, and that's the thing, because it's like all these American companies pulled out of Russia. That's like, ha ha ha. In order to keep you from getting money, we're going to shut down our storefronts in your country. Doesn't that just stop you getting money from the Russians?
Yep. And the Russians like, okay, we'll just trade with Saudi Arabia and other Asian and Middle Eastern countries.
Not to mention, it's
the
like,
Chinese are
like, were they importing all their hamburgers?
Who?
Like it's not like it's like McDonald's leaves Russia. It's not like they airlifted the facilities out of Russia.
No,
Like,
in fact,
what's McDonald's going to do if Russia's like, okay, you've stopped paying our franchise fees, whatever.
I thought Putin planned to or signed a bill in order to reopen these certain companies without any type of, pretty much create a loophole to reopen these restaurants and stuff.
But that's the thing, is like, what fundamentally has to change? Like, what is McDonald's going to go to Russia and go, hey, you're operating a McDonald's establishment without a license to operate a McDonald's establishment. You don't have the franchise rights to McDonald's.
Oi. Where's your operating McDonald's license there,
Oh,
mate?
come on.
Yeah, and that's when the Kalashnikovs come out and is like, here's my fucking license.
Yep, they can just get the similar ingredients from their own country or other countries, and they can continue.
Well, that's the thing. They had to be supplied from someone local. They weren't shipping in beef from the U.S.
No,
That happens in
no.
England. Like, we don't get most of our beef from, well, they say that we don't get most of our beef from other countries. But yeah, like most countries want to be self-sustaining, even if they're playing this charade and charade.
It's like, oh no, where will we get the potatoes for our fries? In Russia. McDonald's has pulled out.
You don't know, man. They might get a famine like those Irish. I'm just saying.
No, vodka's made from potatoes.
I know
Russia has
vodka's made from
potatoes.
potatoes.
Russia has
See, they
fucking
might-
potatoes.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like they might get an Irish situation. Like, you know,
Like the
Yeah.
potato famine?
Hey, you
Yeah,
guys, give me
yeah.
1 second. Real talk.
Yo,
Why do you want to link to my Discord?
I never found it. Is it cool if I join it?
Yeah,
speaking?
I'll invite you in a bit, but Real Talk is speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's weird.
go
Anyway,
ahead.
but I'm mainly on the Warband Discord.
Oh yeah, I was actually trying to direct message Gray. We'll chat if I can get. I think Island was trying to find you. He couldn't find you. I was gonna holler at you after the show. I wanted to talk to you about something.
All right, too easy. We can arrange that. We can arrange
Yeah,
that. But
I wasn't trying to get into the secret layer of Sir Yeetus or anything like that. I actually just wanted to kind of holler at Gray.
no,
I'll post my link in the private chat here.
Yep.
Cool.
But right now, Putin is making a comeback, and I already knew that there was going to be issues when the entire or most of NATO countries were putting crazy sanctions on Russia. I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers. Stupid. Like, you really want to put Putin in a corner like that? Plenty of things could have gone wrong. And on top of that, what if he's able to survive without your goods? What then? Now he's winning, you're losing.
Well, in the propaganda war, they're losing because they think, oh, we'll make life worse for the Russians, and then it'll be all better. It's like all you've done is prove Putin's propaganda about Western oligarchies and corrupting influence to be true.
Yep. Yep, pretty much. And of course, the average American is like, oh, we don't have oligarchies. What are you talking about? Yes, the fuck we do. We have a lot of them. We have the U.S. at least has the most billionaires in the world. So, best believe they're buddies with the government.
Oh yeah, you don't get to have $1 billion without the government having their hand up your ass.
Yep, because once you reach that pinnacle of amount of money, you're gonna be rubbing shoulders with higher up people, whether you like it or not.
Well, actually, this is something that I actually was able to clarify myself earlier. Like, if someone was able to independently amass a wealth of power and influence, the powers that be would be forced to either A, welcome them into the fold and get some leverage on them, or B, destroy them.
Yep, that's pretty much what's happening with Russia, because I'm gonna keep it real. Like, Russia is one of the last people that are pretty much against NATO and North Korea. Kinda China, but not really. They're literally one of the last countries out there that's not controlled solely from the like central banks and all that stuff. You know, Russia is still doing their own thing. And once again, see, people want to say, oh, Russia is trying to spread Soviet Union again, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you know how much NATO has been going around the world, going to different countries, putting in their own political figures for their own benefit? For how many years? Come on.
Yeah. And then all you have to do is look at like, who finances NATO? And then you're going to get an idea for who's actually got the power here.
Yep. And mainly American tax dollars. Yeah. Yep. We pay for all this, gentlemen. It's fucked up, but hey, that's what's happening. So at this point, I really don't see it going beyond any type of nuclear war. I don't see it going that far yet.
No, the interested powers at the top, no one benefits in the event of a nuclear war.
Yep, everybody dies.
Well, not even everybody dies.
Most of us dies.
Let's be honest. Yes, a lot of people die, but what's more important is the collapse of the existing power structure. Like this power structure, depending on who we talk to here, has been consciously constructed and refined for a century or more, if not several centuries,
Right.
if not thousands of years, depending on how deep down you want to go depending on how far you want to go down the rabbit hole. All of that can be wiped out in hours if the nukes start flying.
Yep, and all the work just for nothing. And
At the
I'm
very least,
pretty-
it's set back.
Yep, very setback. And I'm pretty sure like neither side wants that to happen.
No.
Neither. So
But that's where Putin's got. He's like, look, I get what I want. You may eventually get what you want, but right now I get what I want, or I set back your plans centuries.
and possibly for good.
Possibly.
Because once again, Russia got some big toys to use that can cause a nuclear winter.
Yeah, I tell you what, you read my mind a lot of the time, Yeetus. I was just going to bring that up. I was really questionable about Ukraine being able to get any fighter jets up in the air, especially when Putin has the S-500 missile system that can literally take down satellites in orbit. Like, it's the next generation. The S-400 was used all throughout Syria and really did a lot of damage. So it's like, there shouldn't really be any Ukrainian planes that are up in the air because of how advanced their missile systems are. It's like, is he even using anything that has any real power, or is he just using out, like, did he just bring out his 22 revolver for fun during this thing?
Russia, Putin's not being serious right now. I believe he's not.
Yeah.
I'm coming to be in agreement for that. Like, because that's the thing. We've got to look at, okay, what are the stated objectives, and then what is actually being accomplished, because that's what everyone really wants.
I think it's a lot of theater. I saw they were two armored vehicles crossing paths on one road. They shot a few bullets like at each other, and then they just kind of like sat there and looked at each other for a while. And I'm like, man, it doesn't look like an all-out warfare. Like, they should be like going to the death. I'm expecting like one of them to just explode in mushroom cloud. I'm like, come on, kill him already.
If it was a full-on invasion, Ukraine would have been fucked within days.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't
I'm
make
talking
any
about
sense.
onslaught. We're going to run you guys over.
Now let's think about how far can we go kind of into this a little bit, because again, don't want to get your channel yeeted.
As long as you use some type of code names where people can understand.
Okay, so basically I'm in the agreement of theater, but then you have to think, what are the secondary objectives? Because this would lead me to believe that Putin does not want military conquest of Ukraine.
Oh, he just wants them to be neutral.
That's the thing, but he wants it in some sort of writing and apparent. And I don't know how much the territories he claims he wants are true, how much is just more political theater to give him extra negotiating points for leverage. But at the very least, he wants to keep NATO presence out of Ukraine.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, man.
But here's the thing: if he conquers Ukraine, like if he actually took it, then that kind of opens stuff up to a counter invasion.
Yeah, but I don't see him doing a counter invasion. No,
I'm thinking like he goes to Ukraine, then like because they keep talking like, oh, Ukraine's the corridor to Europe. Like, there would be enough political will if Ukraine straight up fell for NATO to actually try to liberate Ukraine.
Yeah, and there's other countries that are neutral as well that he could go after.
Yeah,
like that's right next to Ukraine.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So if he actually took Ukraine and the Russian border was redrawn to include Ukraine, there would probably be a counterattack from NATO itself or some sort of NATO ally. And it would be justified via some roundabout ways. Whereas if he can get what he wants out of Ukraine without actually taking over Ukraine, then they can't, like, what are they going to do? Invade Ukraine to get to Russia?
That is true, and they want Zelensky gone. Like he's not gonna be president for much longer. Let's keep it real.
Well,
He's in a lose-lose situation.
I think if
He's
just
going
like
to have to escape, or he's going to be captured.
I think honestly, I think that he's probably going to be able to duck out of this with a golden parachute and return to his homeland.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, oh, I forgot. I'm a Jew. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody else. Good luck.
And he's going to be pocketing all that money that everybody's been raising for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. Personally, as a leader, I would not subject my people, civilians, not military, civilians, to force them to pick up weapons and die.
Yeah, they're not your people. They're someone else's people.
Well, if I was Zelensky, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I'm just saying hypothetically, this is why it doesn't make any sense on why he's constantly what's up?
I think you have a sense of responsibility and accountability towards the population. That's why you're unsuited for a leader in the modern era.
Right, but what I'm saying is that's why it makes no sense until I realize that he's just this guy that we must join NATO. NATO's going to help us. NATO must intervene. Oh, you need to intervene right now before Russia sends nukes. Come on, guys. Help us. Where's your planes? You said he's going to say. You said he's going to send planes. Where the planes at, bro? Hey, God. What the fuck? Hey, where you guys going? Hey, come back here. So,
Justin, how would you feel if it was Russia on your border?
It's either Zelensky is going to escape or he will be NATO sacrifice. Because they can always get another.
Oh, yeah, he's absolutely replaceable.
So that's the thing that kind of annoys me about this war. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore on how orchestrated it is.
Well, they know, but most people are dumb enough to just follow whatever the mainstream news has and not care.
Yeah, you're right. But people don't want to, once again, because it goes against NATO's narratives to see what Putin is actually, his reasons of why he was doing what he's doing. Even though I don't agree with the war, based on the points that I've read, I see why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, but the best you can get then is people to being pro-Ukraine to being neutral. That's the most emotional shift you're going to get out of people.
But because we have a bunch of liberals, that's not going to happen.
Well, and that's the thing. Even if it wasn't for the liberals, the non-liberals, they just don't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't care either personally because, once again, yeah, war sucks, but at the same time, my primary focus is my people, my country. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? And the fact that, let's say that, NATO didn't have anything to do with it. There was plenty of times that people could be diplomatic about this Ukraine-Russia war. Plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really have much sympathy.
No, they clearly want a shit ton of bodies.
Right. And for what? And
a lot of things.
War is a racket.
Yeah, I know. It was a rhetorical question. And now, since Ukraine is one of the world's leading producers in grains, now there's various other people that's going to be suffering. So let's see how that goes within the next year or two.
God, which I find hilarious because I'm in Canada. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to take a look at the landmass real quick because I'm pretty sure that the prairies in Canada are larger than Ukraine, and I'm positive we could grow shit.
We could.
But yeah, you guys eat like crazy too, so. And
I'll give
it's
you a
like most of
second.
your grain going to animals.
Hey, carry on.
Yeah.
Hold up. Your country hates you. Must narrow the scope to the Warband, not woke family member. I wasn't being literal, okay? I was just explaining the sympathy that I have for Ukraine.
Okay,
of course,
like
I'm not going to defend the very place that treated men, including me, like shit. All right, relax, Ed. Relax.
This is like
you sound like Lennon right now, with with all that. Ooh, how dare you!
God, I'm pretty sure that one of our prairie provinces is at least 1.5 times the size of Ukraine. One province.
But hold up.
I'm not saying all of that's arable farmland, but just looking at it on the global map, yeah, like you could fit all of Ukraine inside Saskatchewan and still have a room for at least another half Ukraine.
I see what you're saying, and the U.S. of course we're definitely good. We were good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think the problem, Gray, would be it's how industrialized, say, Ukraine has been for the past maybe 100 years, where it's geared completely for grain. It's always a task to get the land up to snuff for the large consumptions that, the world has been fed of grain and wheat, carbohydrates especially, and like they really get us on carbs and sugar. So it's a 1-2 punch. But if the land was primed for it, then yeah, it would be like you could start it up tomorrow, kind of how like China will build factories overnight. If that would be possible, that would kick ass.
Yeah, the infrastructure's there. I'm just looking very roughly, like kind of like Ukraine's a very particular light shade of green on this. And I'm looking at the Canadian landmass, and I'm pretty sure that there's a similar size chunk between Alberta and Saskatchewan. So,
see,
probably replace Ukraine with Alberta and Saskatchewan. Not right away, mind you. It would take years of infrastructure investment and job creation. But that's the thing. The land itself.
Cheap?
Well, if that's the case, then Ukraine's land must be almost half of it has to be for farming, grain or something, because they're number 9 on the list of how much grain they produce. So
I'd probably say more than half. Most likely 3/4 of the country is countryside that's been utilized for this production. It's hard to be that small and have that big of a hand in set operations. So they're just a powerhouse.
Oh, and I'm sure, and I'm not even going to deny that they had a massive head start. Like human civilization got to Ukraine long before it ever reached Canada.
Yeah, they're probably the bread basket of the of Europe and would be what, Western Asia. Or I'm sorry, yeah.
Well, regardless, everybody, well, that's where the situation is noticing a big change among the shifting powers and within the world leaders and organizations. It's not done shifting, but it's shifting.
Yeah. Like, honestly, just looking at the roads alone, like there's clearly a massive population and infrastructure difference, but there's so much potential use in Canada that's the thing. If our government really wanted, we have such a massive quantity of natural resources North America wouldn't need to rely on Ukraine if we invested in this kind of material production and infrastructure.
Yeah, I agree. If we, North America, focus on our own stuff, we would definitely be self-efficient. But we don't want our shit. We want their shit.
Yeah, that's what it's cheap.
We want their shit.
Doesn't
We want it cheap, but we added laws that made our shit expensive in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't
And-
Canada? I'm
What's
sorry,
up?
Yeetus, go ahead.
No,
Okay,
keep
I heard
going.
that Canada has at least 100 years of the entire Earth's consumption of oil locked up into like a sediment that kind of has to be refined. What's that all about, Gray? Because I saw a special on that years ago.
Yeah, the tar sands. I'm not super familiar with it, but basically it is kind of what it sounds like. We have massive oil deposits, but they're mixed in with a sandy slurry. So you have to actually extract the sand, which is incredibly coarse, very harsh on machinery. Like this stuff eats straight through steel pipes. It's that coarse.
Wow.
So it is a fairly complex process to extract it and get it out of the ground. But yeah, there's a massive quantity of oil locked up there. But every time we start to make headway on it, the environmental groups come out and start casting their bullshit, and various leadership shuts down projects.
Sleepy Joe.
Well, that was just the latest one that shut down the pipeline for what was already coming out. But every time Canada starts to make headway in new ways to extract it more efficiently, there's always a bunch of environmentalist documentaries that talk shit about it.
It doesn't make a lot of sense because if that was like locked into some sort of soil or some sort of forest farm open land in up in Canada, nothing's really going to grow or associate with it because it has petroleum like locked into it. Animals aren't going to be like eating off of it. It just doesn't make any sense where the activists would come in besides it being like they're being paid to do so. It's like some big deep pocket billionaire is lobbying them to just come out with picket signs and make it a hard time for the country to get one of the most valuable assets they have to be useful to them.
One of the more recent complaints is that it ruins the drinking water for local native tribes.
Yeah, I can see the complaint there. Yeah, but
that's the issue with like the First Nations, Aboriginals, Natives, whatever you want to call them in Canada is incredibly complex, and it's always a pain in the ass because they're basically the face of environmentalist stuff, and they're the number one obstructors or the number one's reasons for obstructions. It's a very complex issue. Producer Tim is actually from Midtown Podcast. He'd know quite a bit more on the subject because he's closer to the area and has more in-depth knowledge.
that is true, and I'm gonna read this right quick. Island Hermit, that thumbnail art is dope. It is dope. Do you know why it's dope? Because you guys got it for me through donations. Star Admin made it for me, and it actually looks pretty sick. I do agree. It does look like a Dark Souls boss. And if you guys still continue support your boy Yeetus, click that link on top of the chat and donate to paypal.me/Yeetus. All this new art that I'm getting, the intros, all this upcoming shit that's coming, is all because of you guys. Thank you very much. Like, I really do appreciate it. I'm aiming for 10,000 within the next few months. I am aiming for 10K. I'm hyped. So when it comes to being self-efficient, do you think that we're going to have no choice at this point as North America?
Well, that's the thing. So much of it depends on what the larger powers dictate. Because we know, like, that's the thing. Because the individual nations or North America being self-sufficient does go against the one world government policy.
So is that
Yeah,
why,
the
even though
agendas.
that, even though that we have the capability of being self-efficient, they still want us to go pull that BS, that new Green Deal of, electric cars and stuff, while the people that still relies on oil, the prices would still be jacked up. And
Well,
yeah,
that's the very thing is like if we were to manufacture at the same level of China using our level of technology, we'd produce far less greenhouse gases. Yet they
right.
don't want the manufacturing to be over here. They want us to buy all our stuff from China, and they use the environment as an excuse for so that the stupid people who don't realize how bad having China manufacture everything is.
Yeah, because China is, you can't breathe over there. You
Yeah, but
can't.
that's the thing.
And
It's
in
fucking hilarious. Like, I
fact, their
swear.
smog actually travels to other countries. That's
Like,
why I had to
I,
wear masks often when I was overseas.
it was hilarious. Last time some environmentalists were nearby, one of them was like it's a global problem. We're all in this together. I wish I'd been able to shout out about China to them because you cannot say that it's a global issue that we all need to consider and then tell
Well, it
people
technically is a global issue because other countries are selling out to China, so China does this stuff.
yeah, but you can't kill manufacturing in the West and say that it's helping the globe when the manufacturing just gets sent over to China, which has worse environmental technology and produces more pollution than the same factory would over in North America.
Yeah, because the pollution just got moved to a different location. That's it.
It's like you take this festering pile of trash out of your yard, dump it into your neighbor's yard, and say, well, now there's less trash.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that in the future. I know I'll have to get in a fist fight with the neighbor, but so speaking of political relations between China and the U.S., do you guys see it as do you see the relations changing anytime soon, or are they going to try their best, China and the United States, to stay cool with each other for as long as possible?
Hate to say it, but they're gonna follow suit with Russia because
I can't see it. Personally, I can't see it, but what's your reason?
my thing is eventually there's going to be something that happens that pushes China, Russia. They're going to go into the plan that has been set between China, Russia, and Israel with the Belt and Road Initiative. I highly suggest you guys check out Brennan O'Connell. He covers this topic extensively, but this is something that's been put in the works for a long time. And I believe that through most likely Taiwan and that sort of scenario, there's going to be a divorce and there's going to be something that happens. I don't know what it's going to be, but that Belt and Road Initiative thing is very scary. And it kind of seems like certain world events are being crafted to make it come true.
So, are
Like
you
one of the Stark
saying
predictions.
as cutting ties with the U.S. economically, pretty much,
Yes.
and then focusing on themselves?
Yeah, they're going to basically work hand in hand with each other because they all have a variety of things to offer one another, whether it's natural resources with Russia, the manufacturing, and being able to get things done extremely quickly with the slave labor in China. And then Israel has all of the tech and all of the development headquarters there now. All the fiber optics have been ran through there, all the security and data breaching is ran through there. So I think this Belt and Road Initiative is the big plot because in the words of good old BB, he said, America is the golden calf. We're going to use it up until it dries away and blows like dust in the wind, essentially. So we're going to get the life sucked out of us through all of the economic measures they have to pull, whether they have to bring a new beer bug or more conflicts that make absolutely no sense for the people of this world, you know, the slave class that pays all the taxes and hoists up the rich, they're going to make it happen. They just
But-
need to put some pretty dressing on it.
But that's gonna take a lot longer.
Yeah, we're going to see it in maybe 10 to 15 years, but I think it's coming.
I'll say even longer than that.
Well, now, this is where I start to run into like the questions, because okay, like Russia and China, I can see uniting. They share a border at multiple points.
Yep.
But getting Israel in on it, that's where
It gets kind of
like China has to go through Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. Like
They have a
whereas-
long-term vested interest, unfortunately. If when you look at historically who actually came to Israel in the beginning, they weren't liked not because they were Jewish people. It was because they were Russian, Bolshevik, communist, guerrilla trained Jews. That's why the Palestinians didn't like the original shipment from Russia. These people came originally from Russia. So there is a huge vested interest in the original Bolsheviks laying bed in Israel. That's the alliance that we were never told about in schools. Unfortunately, that's the sad history.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just looking at the geography and everyone else that would have to be on board for a physical land transportation system to remain viable.
Yeah. So you're talking about like another Silk Road?
Essentially, it's the tech where Israel is taking care of all the processing. Israel is replacing like the NSA and the technological sector that the United States has, and they're going to be working with China and Russia. So it's not going to be like a physical route per se. They're going to be taking care of all of the web-related and data-related things going on in their new,
So
how can you say, alliance.
So hypothetically, right? Because it's hypothetical. For Susan. So the only way for the US to actually be on the bad side of the coin is if they're able to actually isolate the US from majority of the world. Economically at least. That's the only way they'll win.
Yeah.
That's literally like even NATO countries like turn their back on the US, at least economically.
Well, that's where I'd find that very surprising, and like, I'm looking at this from the geographic perspective, and like, straight up, you look at all of Europe. Who is it easier to trade with? China and Russia, which require overland transportation. Most efficient way you're going to get is rail, or the United States, where you can have massive like freighter ships transporting a huge amount of material across the ocean.
Which is true, yeah. Which is why I don't see Russia, China, and the U.S. falling out economically anytime soon. Like it's gonna be a while because we're too intertwined. If we lose, China lose. If China lose, we will be
Like,
hit pretty
that's the
badly.
thing. If the United States wants a successful divorce, they can. The problem is the U.S. and North America, they sent their manufacturing overseas.
Right.
Like even like if there was a straight up economic divorce, so long as there was no military conquest of North America, the manufacturing could rebuild independently. The resources are here.
We just don't want to get shit polluted here.
Well, that's the excuse we make for not having a manufacturing base here.
But of course, there's way cheaper with the child labor and all that crazy stuff over there. But I would say 40 years down the line, 30 to 40 years down the line, there may be something big happen. Unless something happens suddenly, along the way, it'll be a slowly but surely, like, hey, we're gonna pay back that debt, bro.
No, I'm thinking that we're going to have economic collapse before that, and then the new societies that form afterwards are going to create the independent backbone.
Oh hell, like you talking about the U.S. like breaks up in like various parts.
Yeah, I can see the U.S. and Canada too, to an extent, fracturing. All it's going to take is the government to lose its continuous hold of power that unites everything. Like, if the government can no longer simultaneously pay the police and the military, it's going to fracture.
Oh, it's gonna fracture horribly. It'll be military coup everywhere, and the police is gonna refuse to do their job, and it's straight up anarchy.
Yeah, like the cops are going to, like, when the money runs out and the paycheck stops coming in, the cops are going to protect whoever is important to them. They aren't going to give a fuck about anything else aside from their own skin.
At most, their town.
And that's only if they're actually invested in that particular town. Some small towns with close connections to their police force, they'll probably do pretty well. But cities, nah, they're absolutely fucked. And the cops are too outnumbered too.
It will be disaster. Oh, I feel bad for people that live in cities.
I don't. They've had time to get out.
Well, that's true. That's true. Which is why I was kind of annoyed when a few friends of mine moved down to that big ass city, the Miami, Florida, not that long ago. I'm like, you really want to be in that big ass city right now?
Like, that's the thing. The only reason I could justify moving to a city is there's something really high paying that you need to be there for, and you have an exit plan ready to go. But like the social and, for lack of a better phrase, political capital you can build up in a small town, this is the time to do that. You want your neighbors and local shop owners, and to a certain extent your local police, to be aware of your face. You don't want to be the stranger in a small town, not when shit hits the fan.
That is true. So, when it comes to global events, things are not looking too hot. It's still contained, per se, but there's a lot of bickering out there. A lot of bickering amongst the elites.
I definitely think that there's certain powers that are aware of the long-term plan, and they realize that either A, they're not on the inside of the club, and so they need to oppose it, or they're acting like with the longer term plan in mind. And
Yep. All right. Does Rishi, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, just making sure. I know you've been quiet for a minute.
I'm just chilling.
All right, what else can we talk about? Because we already talked enough about Ukraine stuff. What do you guys got?
I don't want to reveal too much about what I've got kind of in the works, but I am working on some more stuff for this channel on the side. So,
oh yeah, you are. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be very good. Yeah, Gray's gonna be helping me have my channel look a lot better, a lot more professional. So
is he like your Manic, like Manic is to Chronic? Like production manager?
Well,
that would be dope. Because the art in the back, what he made was like sick. I'm like, shit. I thought like it was one of the artists on the payroll, and Gray's just like pulling shit out of his hat, like, yo.
Nah, Gray, he's doing this for free. He's doing it out of kindness of his heart.
Yeah,
but eventually, I will send him that skills.
Yeah, like I'm building the portfolio with this stuff, but it's also like given me some focus for the kind of projects I've wanted to do for a while. So like it's a bit of an experiment. Like, yeah, honestly, I wish I had some more stuff to show, because when I got downtime at work, I started thinking on it, and one idea came up today, which okay, fine. I'll give a brief spoiler.
Okay.
So how shows have like a green screen that they can transpose images onto, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So okay, so I was thinking, like, all right, so if I'm going to give Yeetus a green screen, like, how do I keep that themed? And then I was like, what if it was, instead of just being a standard green screen, what if it was like chroma keyed fire?
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be sick. That would be so sick. I'm actually hyped about that. It is the first time me knowing it, actually. Oh,
Yeah,
when do you plan on getting this done? Because now I'm hyped.
Right now, like, I'm working in Unreal Engine 4, so I need a bit of a refresher on it. So I'm getting just some of the cinematography basics refreshed, and then I got to work on building up the set design. So hopefully soon, ideally by the weekend, I'm going to try to push through it.
Brandon Trueblood, you need to interact more with the chat like you used to. I thought I do interact with the chat. Huh. All right. Thanks for pointing that out, Brandon Trueblood. I'll keep my eye out more for the chat. See what they got to say. So I do see what he's saying. Because me doing live streams every day, once I'm on a roll, I can't stop. I read the chat in the beginning, and once in a while I do, answer the chats. But I see what he's saying, that I'm not doing it more like I used to. Because before, here's the thing about, when you start getting more and more subscribers, it gets to the point where you don't focus on the chat as much, like less paying attention. You get what I'm saying, Gray?
Yeah, well, maybe we could do kind of like what Chronic and Hammer do, where like every 15 minutes or so, you just scroll up through the chat, and then we can address like some of the more salient points that come out of it.
I see it. I read the chat often, but usually I see the chat having a conversation among themselves. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good too. I thought I was, but hey, anytime that we're on a subject, I tend to talk about it nonstop, especially with the guests, and I tend to lose track probably like every 20 to 30 minutes. I see a chat here and there, but besides that, I see what you're saying, True Blood. I'll be more active next time. I need to get more wrenches. Yeah, that's what I need to do. What the fuck? I don't got enough wrenches for this channel. I'm gonna work on that later. What were we talking about before?
Kind of set design ideas, though. That actually would give an interesting element to add in, like to have like a green screen to show a display for whatever's going on, give pictures to cycle through, but then create another section so that the chat can have a live feed directly into the video as well.
That'd be so sick. And this will be for the stream or regular videos? Or can it be for both?
Both.
Okay.
Like the idea, I'm researching like talk show sets to give a rough outline for it. So
kind of like TFM and Halsey.
Kind of. I'm thinking, but like since I'm working in Unreal, I figure I can make it an actual 3-dimensional space, so it'll be more like an actual TV talk show.
Holy cow! Damn,
That's what I'm looking for. Jesus, that'd be awesome. Hell yeah. That'd be so sick. Oh fuck, man. Thank you, Gray. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's gonna get a lot more eyes on this channel so they can listen to the word of the Warband.
Yeah, well, don't thank me till it's done, but I'll definitely be pushing myself on it tonight.
Don't worry, it's all good. No rush. I waited months for an artwork, okay, because it was for free. I ain't gonna rush somebody making something for me for free. The fuck, free is free.
Yeah, it's like you either get it good, you get it on time, or you get it cheap. Pick two.
Actually, I haven't really had a drink in like almost a week. So, yeah. And hey, Rishi.
Yo.
Ole or old Thorin has something to say.
Can't wait to see Rishi mushroom talk. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's kind of slow.
Yeah, you just chilling.
What do you want me to do?
When subs grow, the network gets bigger. The truth must spread like butter on toast. Yes. When the channel gets bigger, it's going to be a lot more difficult to keep up with a lot of you guys. But the good thing is, I can recognize a lot of names. So,
and that is a big advantage of like if we can get you monetized so that people can send super chats. Like that should help it pop up. But I'll see if like the set design can't it helps solve the problem a little bit.
And True Blood, you watch Pliskin, he understands alcohol. Oh, that's too funny, but yeah, you don't have to worry about alcohol anytime soon. Yeah. So the intro that I'm doing for the live stream is being worked on by another artist, Gecko Ninja. Ooh. The outro is still good because it's just music, right? Yeah, so pretty much is the format of my videos is the only thing I really need.
Yeah, I can definitely work on that. And I've also got that's the thing. I've got something else plugged in. So I'm working on integrating audio visualizers. So like if you wanted to work out some kind of music video-esque thing.
Right.
Yeah. I got that in the works. I'll hopefully be able to send you some samples soon.
Okay. Too easy. Has anybody is Hammerhand still making videos though? I haven't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah, he posted an update today at least.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, because I heard that he was taking a break or something.
I saw something in his community tab at least.
Let's see. Don't get me wrong, you know, the grind never stops for Hammerhand. I just usually see a video, you know, once every other day. It just gets weird when I don't got that fine tutor, that teacher, giving me the daily dose of reality. It doesn't even have to be red pill MGTOW, just reality. So I like Hammerhand's content because he doesn't hold back at all, you know, and he just clean cut, straight to the point. I respect that.
Oh, plus, old school.
Yeah, he has a lot more years on me as well. Unless he's still 20? Was it 20?
25.
25 for some reason.
25 incel grandfather.
All right, be right back, guys. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Something got delivered. Be right back.
Yeah, a topic I wanted to bring up was how women, due to seeing the recent Decepticon swimmer, They're starting to get really pissed off now and see it as like unfair, and it's like you're a day late and $1 short. You got to live with it. But I like seeing them enraged from their own decisions. Like, I think it's finally, at least to some degree, starting to sink in.
Yeah, no, it's even popping up on various YouTube channels that don't normally cover that kind of stuff specifically, because it's just it's so blatantly obvious to anyone with eyes that it's just politics that is permitting this. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for any of these girls. Like, if they are willing to jump in and participate and legitimize what they know to be unfair, it's on them.
For sure.
Oh, and it's funny because then they're like, she lost one, and I'm thinking of that scene at the end of the first Incredibles movie where they're cheering on Jack to get a close second rather than easily taking first.
Yeah, they're so
Dash.
how can I say? They're so down shit's creek without a paddle. They can't even like comprehend certain even things like that. Like, as minuscule as, a sporting event, it's like when they have to take their red pill, they're going to be throwing up all over the place. It's going to be like, how can I say, to all of the emotional tampons out there, the men that have to sit on the other end of the smartphone and have their energy drained from them from these vampires because, Chad's getting the guts and you have to be the emotional tampon. To all those guys, as soon as like things like this, whether it's the Decepticon news, or whatever, where the creature starts to lose, being an emotional tampon, I mean, the suicide rate amongst those guys who are in the orbiters, emotional tampon kind of realm, oh, they're just going to hate their lives because these creatures are going to have to vent about how life's just so unfair. We're starting to have to wake up and be somewhat accountable for our actions. Like, one little inkling is going to be like a mountain, even if it's a molehill. So
you see what happens when one woman has to pay out alimony to a man.
It is. It's World War III.
Oh no, we need to abolish the entire family court system. It's like, really? This happens to a woman once, and you want to throw out the entire system that's benefited you for decades.
Yeah, that's biting the hand that feeds you.
Like, if anything, this just says, like, you know what? If we want to destroy this kind of system, then we need to encourage this kind of stuff. Like, let's get more of them in there. So long as they're not willing to shut the door and rescind it all, just bring more in. Why the fuck not?
As far as the Decepticons?
Yeah, just bring them in.
Yeah, that's what I think women getting like their face bludgeoned by a man, but legally it's allowed to happen, and you just see like, it's not like I want to beat women up. I don't want to do that personally, but for them to have to see their fellow sister, like Black Ram likes to say, their fellow sister getting both eyes bludgeoned, black and blue, basically like a cartoon character. They're like in that ring with X's over their eyes, their tongue hanging out, and there's just a fucking KO meme as this guy's like standing there flexing like Steve Austin over her fucking half dead body. It's like seeing shit like that's meme worthy, but it hurts women's feelings so badly. I really think that's like the reality slapping him in the face. So just bring it on, like you say. Like, the more bludgeoned faces from these girls, like, who willingly think about it. You're a chick who willingly wants to get into the ring with a man who's playing chick, but still has the fucking testosterone. You know, it's so funny to me. Like, she's going up against the man. She knows she's going up against a man. She thinks she can beat him, but it's just not going to happen. So I don't want to say too much to get Yeetus stream in a compromising position.
It's like mega trans. Come out and face me, Prime, unless you're afraid to lose to a woman.
And the hilarious thing that I find is that we all know if this was happening in reverse, if there was some woman that entered a man's sport and was just crushing all the men, not only would it be praised to the high heavens, but anyone who called it unfair would be called a bigot.
Yeah, I think every time you put that shoe on the other foot argument, it really exposes how fucking one-sided their make-believe world actually is, and how our world based in reality is falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if they're not willing to learn from being told, and they're not willing to admit they're wrong when they're proven wrong, then the only thing left for them to do is experience the pain of their choices.
Yeah, there's you're describing I think you're waiting for that day, the day in which they have to face the music. And if I'm gonna quote, there's a video called "The Day of the Woman." Black Ram has his Black Ram for Vengeance channel. That's where he talks about things, that can't get him monetized, and that's that sort of raw and uncut channel. And he says, I declare you guys the winners. You've won. Basically, this is your world, but you're inheriting a world that's falling at the seams. He says he looks forward to seeing that day in which he can walk past and laugh at their calamity. He says the current gods of our age, he looks forward to the day in which he can walk past the current gods of our age and laugh at their calamity. And I can just picture Gray's meme, just like the cartoon character, like on a StreamYard here, just laughing, how when Yeetus is just like a woman, you're just like laughing at him with like a chick on the sidewalk. Help! For sure. Oh shit!
All right, what I missed?
We've gotten into the Decepticons.
We're celebrating the strong and powerful Leah Thomas.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Her
And how
new
pissed.
swimming records and complete annihilation of the competition is such a strong step forward for women everywhere of all genders.
Oh, you guys went there. Oh man, you're not wrong though. Hey, this is what they wanted.
Well, more or less how women have to bite the bullet and realize what's actually been going on in the sporting events, and how they've voted for this. They were all about the inclusion, and now they have to get punched in the face and beat fair and square by a fucking dude.
And the simps too. Like, that's the thing. Like, the suicide rates among the simps who have to be the tampons. Like, I don't feel fucking bad for them. It's like, you guys will fucking attack and smack down anyone who tries to call this shit out. Anyone who tries to point out the double standards. You're the first ones to start pulling out the bullshit and shame. It's like, all right.
All right, go for it.
I hope she fucking cries her eyes out to you, and then you find her getting reamed out on Pornhub.
Oh my god. I don't know what you guys actually talked about while I was gone, but I'm sure it was fucking hilarious. Oh man.
Just enjoying women having to fucking eat this shit. Like every time they have to face the music or their comfort level has been sacrificed, it's a victory. I mean, our pure existence is like we've been tortured as men just to put up with children with breasts. And now since they're, chickens are coming home to roost, it's just justice. It's not that like we want it to happen as in like we're hurt black pillars and we have no hope or nihilistic. But when they shoot themselves in the foot, it's like was it Machiavelli that talks about letting your enemy like destroy himself?
Don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yeah, that's the best part. We're getting to enjoy this. This is like our Super Bowl when these sort of things happens for the men out there.
And I think that's really what separates, I don't know, would you call this red pill or whatever the fuck we are, like, from the black pillars? Like, if all this shit ended tomorrow, if all of a sudden rationality took hold and all this shit was undone, we'd be fucking thankful and we'd move on in life. Like, grateful for like getting through that horrible experience. Black pillars would lose everything. They'd have nothing to fall back on. Their entire identity would be meaningless without being able to bitch and complain.
I agree, because it's pretty much nihilism, and giving up is not something that a man should be doing. I mean, what I mean by that is giving up for good.
Honestly, if you guys don't mind, I wouldn't mind diving into black pillars a bit, because
I don't mind.
God. And honestly, if there's any black pill haters in the chat, like, please, for the love of God, call in.
Well, what do you want to say, Gray?
Like, black pillars are fucking failed PUAs. If they were successful with women, or at least moderately successful, they'd just be PUAs because all they seem to care about is whether or not they can get laid. And when they say, well, no, it's not like that, we just want a real relationship. It's like, do you think that Chad has a real relationship? Do you think she really loves Chad and that only the attractive men get actual love? No, it's bullshit for all of them.
So you're talking about...
I don't know. I've been kind of watching some, like, the Vital Message and guys like that. I've been kind of like diving into that content. I think it's and that guy Pete, he doesn't go in on black pills much. So I think there's much more diverse thinking there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, no two black pillars have the exact same definition for black pill. But a consistent thread I notice is that every time you call them out for being nihilists, they just say, well, no, we're just talking about the objective realities of looks being determinant of stuff.
Don't forget to cope at the end of it.
So what about the men, though? And I'm talking about the exception to the rule that actually was dealt a horrible hand in the beginning of his life.
Well, okay.
In terms of...
That's the thing. Is like, what are they after?
I'm just saying, in terms of the genetic lottery. I mean, like, bad.
Okay, like, but that's the thing. What
he's incapable.
They'd have to be fucking horrendously ugly and crippled as all hell.
That's how I was getting to that point. I'm saying they're incapable. Literally, it is highly unrealistic for that person to carry on a intimate relationship.
They'd have to be worse off than a guy who's literally a torso with a chicken leg.
Yeah, I don't think we really hear from those extreme cases. I don't even think they're represented in the black pill space.
No, I said they're the exception to the rule, because I'm sure that they're like, I'm giving up for good on relationships because realistically, it's a very, 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 very small chance that a girl will get with him. You know, I'm talking about the exception. Okay, so I see the black pill overall. No, I'm sure it happens. I'm just saying, I understand why the people that were dealt a horrible hand since the beginning, on why it is a 99.99% chance that he is unable to hold the relationship, and he just gives up altogether. So,
but
that's one thing.
That's the thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we get that.
Yeah, but I wasn't finished. That's why I have to repeat.
Sorry.
So, I see black pill in general as a normal man, just normal men that, you know, nothing is really wrong with them per se, possibly antisocial, you know, probably has slight issues such as, you know, autism or, you know, other issues that hinders them for having a decent social capabilities, or just narcissistic men that thinks way too highly of themselves. That when their pickup game doesn't work, you know, they immediately goes to Edgar Allan Poe type levels of, you know, fuck all this. Oh, this is horrible. The world is burning and all that crazy shit.
No, and that's the funny thing, is that so many of these guys. Now, again, we don't know many of their identities. The only one that I know is Wheat Waffles. All I know is that he's a black pillar and he's 19. It's like, oh my God, a 19-year-old is not having success with women. Stop the fucking presses.
Well, I mean, he was also having guys pay him to like rate their faces. So,
which is like, okay, this is a slightly alternate version of, you know, let me get some money from you. Yeah, the grip.
It's probably successful. I think he got a good handful of guys to like send them to the face.
Yeah, and I personally have nothing against Wee Waffles. Okay, him as a person, I have nothing against. But
I don't know anything about him aside from the very basics that John Anthony popped out and that he raised faces.
He is a good example of overcoming his obstacles. I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. Why? Because mainly his social skills is through the roof, way better than the normal person's. I will say his social skills are fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Berwick's got goddamn confidence, man. Like, if you were like, if you want lessons on confidence, emulate Ricky fucking Berwick.
Yeah, if I was 17, 18 years old, and you know, and I go to some party or the club, I guarantee you Ricky will be able to pick up a girl faster than me when I was 18.
Yeah.
That's how good he was. So, yeah, I do understand that, you know, people that were dealt horrible hands in the genetic factor can still possibly overcome it. But I understand why that those people in that group would have that type of quote-unquote nihilistic mindset when it comes to relationships.
And then, of course, there's the question, though, is like, is that these people who are pushing the black pill above all else? Because I'm skeptical of that.
PUAs are straight, Fed and SIP are straight PUAs. But
yeah, they are.
What I'm saying is the black pill in general, right, are just made up of normal people. And in my opinion, they have literally little to no excuse to even have that type of mentality in the first place.
Precisely. They also kind of feel like SJWs. Like, they're not the ones experiencing the issue at hand, but they're using the theoretical person experiencing the issue to justify what they do.
Right. And I still think it's weird that you want to rate other men's faces. I don't know.
Well,
it's just
like Wheat Waffles, you know.
Yeah,
it's not all black. Like,
no, but I've seen a couple other black pill channels. Like, look at his jawline. Look how his nose is. Look at the symmetry. I'll give you a 6. Like, okay.
like, mine. I'm not gay, so I don't give a shit what a man thinks of my face.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck. What'd you say, Rishi?
Before we go any further, I actually gotta go. I just want to share this thought with you guys.
What's up?
I've come to think about this over the past couple days, and it's something to do with like the philosophy and the infiltrators. Like at first, it wasn't as easy to like infiltrate like Red Pill and like all these different communities, but
Right.
I think the philosophy, with it comes like a different risk because then anyone can come in and claim to be, Red Pill, MGTOW, Black Pill, stuff like that,
Yeah, because all of them became
and be like chameleons and grift.
Yeah, all of them became mainstream. So
yeah, and
that's
they don't
why
have
it's
any
easy.
other, and they don't have any other job. I mean,
Yep.
this thing, they show their face, they buy the studios, and they do the grift.
This is why the Roma Army bullshit pisses me off.
Well, it's not just the Roma Army. It's
I know. She was just
all-
one example.
it's a lot
Because
of guys.
the audacity of this chick, honestly thinking that she could relate or even sympathize with the very same simps, I'll say simps, that she's taken advantage of.
And here's the other thing I noticed: a lot of the channels I watched throughout the years, some have evolved and changed, and others have kind of remained stagnant. Like Sandman, I haven't seen him like change anything in his content, but content creators I used to watch, like Coach, he definitely grifted out. Happy Humble Hermit, he became more of a like New World Order kind of guy and went over like those stories.
Talking to Real Talk too much.
But yeah, that's the thing. I just want to share some of my thoughts with you guys.
Yeah, that's something to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah.
worth going into a bit of a dive on that, actually.
And
When you
definitely,
broaden
like,
go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say one more thing. I was gonna bounce. Definitely, like with the Black Pillar stuff. I'd say do what the Warband is doing and have kind of like this hierarchy. It will make you more susceptible to like infiltrators, sure, but then you can like moderate who claims to be quote unquote black pill or gray pill, stuff like that.
Yep.
But anyway, I gotta go. I'll see you boys later.
No problem, man.
So-
Peace
So-
out.
Actually, that's something else specifically to the Warband. And I have mentioned this before, but I think it's worth reiterating that the Warband brings fun to these kinds of topics. And that's something that I don't see anywhere else. Like the most fun for a lot of others is, haha, look at these thoughts, haha, look at these simps. But
That is true. We do add a lot of comedy to our stuff.
Kind of like George Carlin, there's truth behind the comedy.
Yep. I
yeah,
agree.
but even like with the avatars too, like there's actual characters there. Like
The
look
lore.
at like seriously, how many Red Pill content creators actually get fan art done of them, commissioned or otherwise?
That is true.
Yeah, I think Chronic's perspective is very unique, and he understands that if they're going to keep axing him and making his life a living hell, the more of a various, let's say Chronic was a 4-course meal himself. He keeps bringing more courses to the meal to get more palates wrapped around his understanding, his message, his ideology. I'm not saying we are a cult by any means, but we're like-minded individuals. We kind of understand the world as it is, and how we are dealt a certain hand in life. And we're not nihilistic. We stay in an optimistic standpoint. Even if the world's going down the gutter, We've talked about survival. We've talked about if the shit hits the fan, what would have to happen for women in order for the patriarchy to regain in building a society, rebuilding society has to happen. So it's just like, we're all over the place, but it's open thought, it's open dialogue. We try to keep it as respectful as possible. You know, the beefs don't really exist here because it's all logic, understanding, and it's truly like we try to keep it like as, you know, masculine, you could say, because that's the thing. Men were the ones who got together in communities and talked about real issues before social media and before, you know, things started to get really divisive in society. I think that's how it used to be before, you know, smartphones and whatnot. Like how we're sitting down right now, sitting down, but you get what I'm saying. This is more of like a sit down conversation men would have. Where else do you get that?
Yep, that's why I said get your drinks, get whatever you got to get, sit down and enjoy the conversation. And if you want to join, go ahead and click the link to join the call-ins.
And it's not soft. We don't let brothers come in here who are asking about 30-plus-year-old women with high body count. Should I wife her up? We're like, fuck no, run. Like, we're like keeping it real here. Like, we don't feed people bullshit. Like other channels that may have discussions, they always want to make it a safe space. We don't want a safe space. We want it to be volatile if it has to be volatile, because the truth hurts. Truth is stranger than fiction.
Well, that's the thing. Like, honestly, it is kind of a safe space in the sense that it's a freaking lead-lined blast-proof chamber where volatile shit can happen. Like, the rest of the world is soft. You can actually get to extremely high levels of temperature and pressure in here because that's what you need to refine stuff. You can't turn ore into iron by leaving it out in the sun.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Like, you need heat and pressure if you want to make anything refined.
Yep. And when it comes to the Warband, right? Once again, all we're doing is pretty much having a good time as a group of men can come to a area where we can be men and talk about male issues and things around the world that society in general are too afraid to talk about. You know, that's why our Discord was so successful in the first place. Everybody is able to get things off their chests that society in general will definitely condemn, right? I'm not saying the free for all, okay? I'm not saying it's a wild, wild west. You can say whatever you want because, you know, spewing bullshit is still bullshit. But if you have plausible conversations between one another when it comes to personal issues, all the way up into global issues, that's where you need to be. That's where men should allocate, get together, and have a great time and not worry about these 300-pound feminists or these male simp beta soy boys coming up in there to cause a ruckus. And for what? Because we exist. So,
yeah. And we challenge their very existence because they think that, like, so much of what they do, they think that what they're doing is right. And they're fucking miserable. But they think that their misery is right. They find a sense of righteousness in their suffering. And then you show them someone who's like, no, this person's doing better than you by every metric. It seems to be several steps ahead of you at all times. And not only do they not have to suffer, they actively oppose everything that you stand for. And they're better off for it. We have to be evil. Otherwise, they'd have to admit that they themselves are wrong.
But yeah, in their perspective, we're evil.
Well, and let's be honest, relative to them. we are, because
Yeah.
we stand in opposition to their way of life.
Which is insane in the first place. But I do see what you're saying. Because their way of life makes no sense at all whatsoever. To the point where they are able to make up, like wake up one day, say, "Oh, I'm a Apache helicopter." How does that sound sane?
It's like, do I wear my hair up or down? And that's going to determine what clothes I wear. And that's going to determine which bathroom I go into. And that's going to determine like what I want people to call me. Or should I pick from this other selection of pronouns? Oh, I can't decide. And I was like, motherfucker, people are already, the time it takes you to pick what gender you want to be, other people are already contributing to the construction of the society that keeps your house from not being a mud hut.
Yep. And it's ironic how they say that, men are obsolete. Very ironic. Which is why, at least in our generation, we're saying that's enough. That's enough. We are not going to entertain your Barbie house delusions anymore.
It's just comedy hour. If you take them serious, like you really have to laugh when they're, or how can I say, when they're trying to take themselves serious and present their lives as something that's challenging, like they actually go through, hills and valleys and crests, up and down. Like, oh, I'm challenging myself. I'm making something out of myself. Like basically, they believe that they're living the life of a man, but they're really living in the lap of luxury and comfort. And when you try to listen to them, if you don't laugh in their face, you're insane. Like it's comedy hour to me when like they try to open up and like make it sound as if they're living some sort of challenge. It's like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking circus clown.
You're really upset and getting depressed and going nuts because somebody called you the wrong type of person you are? Really? That's what set you off?
It honestly reminds me of really tiny dogs. Because, like, really tiny dogs, they're often the yappiest, most aggressive, most willing to screw with anyone around them, to bite at them, to growl at them. And it's like, if it wasn't for the fact that your owner would call the cops and send men with guns to come shoot me if I laid a hand on you, your head would be turned around backwards and you'd be flying across the room. Stop screwing with me.
Yep, but since they think that they're so protected by the state, they believe they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's they think it's inherent to them. They think they're right because they do all this stuff and people, don't kick the shit out of them for being
assholes.
Yes, that much nicer words than I had in mind. Like they act like assholes and people can't do anything to them. And they think, oh, well, I must be correct and superior because I did something that I think hurt them and they didn't, and I didn't suffer any consequences for it. So,
that's why I agree with what Bill Burr said. They have no reason to stop because you can't hit them.
Yeah. It's like, but as soon as the cops stop, it's like if the cops go away, you are first on the chopping block.
And a lot of angry men are walking around. Ooh.
Well, that's the thing is like there's people who are genuinely like looking for opportunities to be violent to these people. Like we're like, look, all you got to do, like, we just don't want you to piss us off. Like we don't care what you do so long as you stop fucking with us.
Yep. Live your life.
But there's people out there who absolutely cannot tolerate your existence, and they will take steps to eliminate you if given half a chance.
Yep, because in the end, based on decades of brainwashing, or over a century actually. Who is at fault of the country's decline?
Us men, of course.
As always, it's always our fault.
Yeah, they will say that to their grave.
Well,
It's
and
insane.
that's the thing is like, to a certain extent, I understand because, like, if you're the owner of a yappy small dog and it pisses and craps everywhere and bites everyone in close proximity and you don't do anything to control it, is it really the dog's fault?
It's the enabler's fault.
Yep. But at the same time, the women knew what they were doing as well.
Yeah.
And everybody else that were
and that's the thing. It's going to come down to the point is like, look, women, you either have to actually take accountability and responsibility for over a century of societal destruction, or you have to admit that you are not equivalent to men in any way. You never will be, and you have to accept a secondary position to them.
Because unless some crazy evolutionary shit happens, thousands of years into the future, maybe millions in the future, they will talk. But right now, no.
That's the thing. It's not going to happen. Like, for evolution to happen, you'd need a heavy selection for genetic pressure. So, like, you'd have to imagine a circumstance where men would find women that are like men to be more attractive than women that are like women.
Well, once again, I said millions. So that's a long ways down.
To be fair, like millions of years ago, it took millions of years for dinosaurs to turn to chickens. So,
right, that's what I'm saying. So I see. Well, let's see what happens down the road. But right now, you fucked us over, and for what? For what? For your own selfish, greedy, delusional, fucking childish, bratty. You're inherently not able to make right decisions on your own. You're just not. Inherently, you can't. The state of society says for itself.
They're just like so unconscious about this entire like world that they live in. They even the ones that might be a little bit more based and understand, that a lot of things don't make sense that we're told on the TV and shit like that, they still live in la la land. Like, they're so warped and so they've been so heavily programmed. I told one that I'm dealing with that, listen, like, you've been heavily programmed. Like, she started to understand like the succubus, how not to be a succubus, how not to drain my energy. Like, I gave her the run through. Like, if you're gonna want to be in my life, you can't exhibit the traits you may have been able to exhibit with other men. Like, you're not gonna drain me. Like, the only thing that's gonna be drained are my fucking balls. You got that? Like, other than that, just keep it to that and keep my stomach full, and we're good to go. And other than that, like, she just hasn't been able to wrap her mind around it. It's pretty sad, but I just find it funny that they are not living in reality. And then even the ones that are based, even they are lost at sea.
No, it's funny. A couple of days ago, I saw this one woman who's got like all this political paraphernalia on her, advocating for the most extreme right-wing party in Canada. Yes, we have one of those. Believe it or not. And I thought, I should have asked her if she was against universal suffrage. And when she inevitably says no, I was like, do you think Trudeau would have gotten in with it?
True. Yeah.
Like,
but
you can.
Wait, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of doubling down on the point. Is like Like you can look very much as like, you think all these political ills are with society, but doesn't matter how much you advocate for the opposing party. I know that you're not willing to make any personal sacrifice for it.
No,
Yep. Definitely
the
agree.
virtue signal.
But hey guys, I'm going to be making my dinner because it's getting cold. So we're going to end it here. And I'm going to reiterate what's the plans for my channel. So thank you guys for sticking by the entire time. And we'll definitely have this live stream again on Friday. So
Sounds good.
peace out and puniti.
Uniti.
Thanks for having me.
No
Thanks
problem.
again.
Peace out, guys.
All right, it's just me, your boy, Sir Yeetus. If you guys weren't in the beginning of the live stream, I'm explaining that things will be a lot different very soon for the channel. I do plan on deleting a bunch of shorts, not all, just the ones that I didn't do any commentary in. I'm also going to be alternating. So today's live stream, tomorrow it will be a couple of shorts, and or a long video. So you can expect short long videos tomorrow. Then I'm gonna go back to live stream, then back to shorts, back to live. So it's gonna be alternating back and forth, so you guys are able to pretty much know the pattern of what's going on. So, but overall, the channel is slowly growing, but surely I am very close to 6,000 subscribers. God damn, that's a lot of people. But I'm definitely just getting started, right? Like it's only a tip of the iceberg. And thank you everybody that still subs to my channel, still listens to my content. And best believe it will be another level of production in the very near future. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had your daily dose of red pills. And I am out. Peace.